Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. I have a short stack here, but it's pretty great, and there's a wonderful trade at the bottom of this that I will talk about in just a few minutes. So first up, we've got Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. This is issue 6. This is the end of the story, and it's mostly a one-on-one fight between Sergeant Rock and Hitler, and it is glorious. It's brutal. Again, art by Riso. We've got Bruce Campbell writing. He's really quite impressive. But I also just love Riso as an artist. This fight between them is amazing. I love every bit. I mean, that's brutal. And I want to spoil one thing here. Give me a second. So it ends like this, which I got to this last page, and I was pretty excited. So after the fight concludes, we have a moment of him in a hospital, and I was initially worried. This nurse makes a face right there, and I'm like, I'm suspicious of her. So I expected, honestly, a different ending. I expected a continuation of some sort, but I expected the nurse at the end there to be evil and to basically kick off the next series or, sequel bait tease. A continuation of evil that then Easy Company would have to confront once again. And that's not exactly what happens, but it's close. So I hope that this does continue, because I had a blast reading this. I think this team is amazing. If they do continue, which I hope DC does, I will definitely be on board. But this, as a series, I had an absolute blast reading it from beginning to end. Up next, we've got Skull and Bones Savage Storm. This is based on, I believe, an upcoming Ubisoft? I've honestly never known how to pronounce it. Video game. And I was curious. So this showed up in previews months ago, and it piqued my interest enough to get the first issue. And by the end of this, I was no longer interested. So I won't be continuing to get this, but if you are interested in sort of nautical pirate deserted island stories, then maybe this is for you. I'll show off some of the art as well, because I think that's an important factor. But essentially there are 3 crews. The crews of 3 ships wind up on this island. Initially 2 of them are fighting at sea. They both wind up on the same island after or as the result of a storm, and then at the very end a different crew shows up. And so there are factions. There's already fighting from the beginning, and I don't have enough attachment to any of these. I didn't gain an attachment. The comic doesn't earn an attachment, maybe I should say, for me to any of these characters. And the story is thin. I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed stories, which I think really, I guess, flesh out both the characters and world and story very well. Some of these video game companies, I feel like, especially Square, and I've been saying this for years, I feel like Square Enix wants to make movies or television instead of video games, because some of their games are cumbersome to play, but obviously a lot of care has gone into the creation of the world. In this case, this, I think, is a prequel to the video game, so these events are happening before the main story. Whatever. I'm not going to play the game. It starts off with boats, which is one of my least enjoyed moments of Assassin's Creed, is the boats. I don't know what the game's going to be like, but my video game, I think, main video game playing years are behind me. So I was curious about the story, and I'm not continuing, is the end result. In contrast, we have Phantom Road, which is Lemire, so I grabbed it. I'm a big fan of his. I'm less sure about Walta. I believe he drew Vision, which I didn't read, and I just read that a couple of days ago, and I haven't verified that, but I did read Sentient by Lemire and Walta, and I found the art okay, but dark, and I thought it could have been better. Here, I really enjoy his work. So we mostly have this guy who is a long-haul trucker, and I was flipping through this a minute ago. We see he has a family. We see that he has some backstory fleshed out, and this accident happens. It's not really an accident, but there's an accident avoided, and he gets out of the truck, and then weirdness happens, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty interested to see where this goes. So there's this thing, and as I said, weirdness happens. I have no idea where this is going. I mean, obviously you can see some weirdness here on the cover. I'm in. I'll be adding this to my pull list, absolutely. I want to see where this goes. I want to see more of what's happening. But the story's interesting, and the art's great. So, recommend for me. Dan's gonna be mad at me for this one, but Fuck This Place is back from hiatus between arcs. So we get a new issue here, and we mostly get story on these three. We get some story, backstory, honestly, for Trudy. Yes, Gabby and Trudy. So we get some backstory for Trudy, and it's brutal. Like, it's intense, and I love this series. This is, I guess, less supernatural horror in this particular issue that has been what has been going on at this farm thus far. It's there's something right in the beginning here. There's these help spiders, they're called, and apparently they're creepy, not quite spiders that say help, and the crew at the farm fight them off. I mean, that's not really a spider, but this is nuts. And it moves the story forward as far as what's happening on the farm, and then, as I said, we get some backstory. It's really quite a lot going on here, and some of the most horrific stuff does not involve, weird non-spider things. It's just incredible. It's just a highest recommendation. Lastly, I think, is Human Target issue 12. This is the end of the series, and I really enjoyed it. Going into this, so I had ideas really for the last few issues about whether or not Chance was going to live. I gave him 50-50 odds. I thought, if he winds up living through this, I won't be surprised, but I'm also not going to be surprised if he just dies, because the Tom King stuff, I feel like, is out of continuity. I don't know that it has been officially established, but he does really some strange, bizarre things to these characters that I don't think mainline DC would want. But these are the preview pages that were released, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything by showing them here, but we get the apparent death of Christopher Chance and what happens after that. So this is day 12, and then some additional days after that, and it's incredibly well done. There's an amazing scene with Ice and Guy Gardner. There's, for very different reasons, another amazing scene between Ice and Martian Manhunter that, wow, just that entire scene. so much is said not in words in that scene in particular. There's a lot that's happening in the background that's just amazing. And then, as I said, that Guy Gardner scene and what happens, it's perfection. And then there's a scene with Lex Luthor near the end that's it's really powerful stuff. So I trash talk Tom King on a pretty regular basis, but I do ultimately, generally enjoy his work. I really enjoyed this one. Maybe not quite as much as, say, Mr. Miracle, which I really liked. But this series of Human Target has been just I loved it. It's great. And now that it's over, there should be a collection coming. I believe they've already collected the first 6 issues. The second 6 issues are coming, and I'm sure someone's going to do a 12 issue. So if you're interested, get one of the or all of the collections, whatever form you choose. But it ends well, which is always my question about Tom King. Is it going to end well, or is it going to be more like Batman Catwoman and just falls off the rails? This is one of the good ones. Lastly, I got to do a Powerbomb, the collection. I loved this series. This is just look, flip to a random page, get barbed wire wrapped bat. Well, she's got what's that? A kendo stick, ladder match, there's chains. I mean, this series is amazing. It's spectacular visuals mixed with just a deep personal story. It's emotional. Huge fan of Danny Warren Johnson. The guy's an absolute master, and if they redo this in hardcover like they did with Murder Falcon, I'll buy it again and then give this to somebody who I think would enjoy it. But even if you're not a wrestling fan, and this is heavy on wrestling, it's really well done wrestling. I've read some not as great wrestling comics, but this is just incredibly well done. But also, as I said, just a deeply emotional, personal, well-told family story. It's amazing from beginning to end. Highly recommend this. I will not be doing a review on this for my weekend videos because I've already reviewed all of the individual issues on this. But this, amazing. Highest possible recommendation. So that is everything that I got this week. And pick of the week, I think, is going to... I think I'm gonna give it to Fuck This Place. I really enjoyed Human Target. I thought that was great. I also really enjoyed Phantom Road. However, as far as just overall impact, Fuck This Place. Holy cow. I mean, this is intense. But also just incredibly well told. So if you are at all curious, there should be a collection for the first 5 issues, and then I don't remember if this is ending with issue 12 or if it's an ongoing. I gotta check into that. But this series is it's amazing. It's supernatural horror that then turned into more human-based horror, which if you've read Walking Dead, you'd be familiar with the concept. Humans can do terrible things to other humans, and this literally illustrates that very well. So, as I said, that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.